the most controversial joke in Family Guy doesn't comply with the usual causes for offense. It's not crass, it's not targeted at race or gender or anything else that would be the catalyst for a social media firestorm. But rather, today's video is on Family Guy's infamous Conway Twitty joke.
The problem now is that these people are expecting a show. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Conway Twitty.
And the joke revolves around playing an entire song by 1960s country legend Conway Twitty, with the song being played in its entirety during the middle of an episode. And yes, that's the joke. That's the joke.
You suck, McBain!
And boy, is it a controversial one. Allow me to explain. You see, Family Guy is of course one of the most successful animated shows of all time, and with success brings with it an enormous amount of pressure. Pressure which the Family Guy team certainly hasn't dealt with well.
Brian, we're pregnant! Oh my god!
However, this video isn't just a boo Family Guy bad hit piece, but rather it's about a divide in the fanbase between those who view the Conway Twitty joke as a masterpiece of anti-humor and those who just find it cringe, annoying, and a waste of time. You see, I personally lean towards the latter. However, as Confucius states, real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. So, I set out to find the people who love the Conway Twitty joke, and also, why? Well, the first obvious answer is that it's anti-humor, or humor which is derived from subverting the traditional expectations of comedy, and when done well, can be far more impactful than just telling a regular joke. I mean, just look at comedic geniuses like Norm Macdonald and Tim and Eric, who built entire careers and adoring fan bases from their fantastic subversion of comedy.
I walked in on my parents having sex. It was the most embarrassing half hour of my life.
And Seth MacFarlane used the Conway Twitty joke as essentially the ultimate form of anti-humor, as not only is it not a joke, but these Conway Twitty segments would take up to 3 minutes of time out of a Family Guy episode.
Hey Lois.
Oh, Peter.
Hey Lois.
And thus, 3 minutes of time away from the major networks. Boom. Epic troll.
Boom. Roasted.
And the Conway Twitty joke also acted as a middle finger to the major networks that had cancelled Family Guy after only 3 seasons. With the joke essentially boiling down to, look how big Family Guy is now, we can play a 3-minute music video and you can do nothing about it. However, while it's all well and good wanting to stick it to the man, many believe that it's not just the major networks that have their time wasted, but also it's the fans of Family Guy. You and I, who after a long day of doing whatever it is that we do, just want to come home and not have to sit through a 3-minute music video when watching one of our favorite shows. I mean, could you imagine if you were watching SpongeBob and halfway through the episode, Squidward goes,
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Conway Twitty.
and 3 minutes of a music video plays? No, because that would be insane. And not only does this 3 minutes get taken away from the fans of the show, but it also gets taken away from the plethora of other shows with incredible animation and wonderfully creative teams that are having to fight it out over airtime and cherish every moment that they're on the air.
This would be more like 2 co-workers spending a little quality time together. We'll build a bar right here in Super Jail.
Shows that would never dream of wasting even 2 seconds of their audience's time, let alone an entire 3 minutes. But perhaps I'm looking at this the wrong way. After all, making Conway Twitty the face of the joke was a personal choice from Seth MacFarlane. I mean, don't get me wrong, Conway Twitty is a legend of country music, but he isn't exactly well known to the younger demographic that gravitates towards Family Guy.
Who likes Fortnite? We like Fortnite! We like Fortnite!
Which begs the question, why Conway Twitty? Well, this is because Seth MacFarlane's mother, Ann Perry Sager, used to listen to Conway Twitty frequently around the house when Seth was younger. And if you look at the frequency of Conway Twitty jokes per season, you'll see that after the passing of Seth MacFarlane's mother in 2010, the rate of Conway Twitty jokes and references actually increases, which can be seen as a rather touching gesture from Seth towards his mother, paying tribute to her with a musician that they both loved growing up. However, it's counter-argument time. You see, if the Conway Twitty joke was an isolated incident of time wasting in Family Guy, then I would be more than happy to chalk it up to a tribute. But Family Guy is notorious for wasting time, notably in Season 9, Episode 7, Foreign Affairs, in which the entire 3 minutes of Mick Jagger and David Bowie's Dancing in the Street video is played.
But recent years have also seen many important historical events. 1985 brought us the gayest music video of all time.
With the punchline of the joke essentially being, hey, this music video is kinda fruity, right? And of course, there's the infamous karaoke cutaway in Season 13, Episode 10, Quagmire's Mum.
Peter, did you throw up in the sink?
In which Peter tells Lois to wait until his karaoke song is finished to ask him a question. At which point, we are treated to a minute of pure laziness from the Family Guy writers, who undoubtedly said to each other, hey, which song has a ridiculously long opening so we can waste a minute and go early for lunch? I mean, come on, Lois isn't even blinking. However, I digress, as this video is about the Conway Twitty joke. And I present these examples to showcase that the Conway Twitty joke isn't just an isolated middle finger to the big bad executives, but rather it's the culmination of an incredibly lazy and thoughtless approach to animation.
You think that's bad? Remember when I auditioned to be David Hasselhoff's car?
In a show that otherwise does in fact have a lot of merit. Well, at least the early seasons of Family Guy.
I like these. These are good. Very classy.
However, there is one more argument for the Conway Twitty joke, and that's simply that because of Family Guy, a genuinely talented musician in Conway Twitty has now been introduced to millions of younger fans, who, without Seth MacFarlane and Family Guy, would have never even heard of Conway Twitty's work, in turn allowing his legacy to live on long after his passing. And, I don't really have a counter-argument for that. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Harryfromends. I see the sparkling little diamond on your hand. It's plain to see that you've already got a man. Oh, I can tell you're not about to fall for any of my lies. I see the want-to in your eyes. Deep in your smile, there's a quiet, soft desire. Like the ember of a once raging fire. You know I could light that fire again. You know it isn't wise. I see the want-to in your eyes. I see the want-to in your eyes. So, with all of that said, is there really a problem with the Conway Twitty joke? Well, that's up to us to decide. For me personally, I couldn't stand the Conway Twitty joke until I started doing research for this video. And in all honesty, I still don't really like the joke, but I will admit that putting on my Conway Twitty outfit was a lot of fun.
Anyway, here's some Conway Twitty.
I know it's only make-believe.
This is annoying. I don't want to sit through this.
And let me know in the comment section below, do you love or hate the Conway Twitty joke? And as always, stay happy, stay safe, stay country.
Brian, we're pregnant.